morning. Welcome to the virtual Greater Boston Church of Spiritualism on this Sunday morning or whenever it is you are joining us. Please join me in our opening prayer. Infinite Spirit, beloved God, we open our hearts and minds to your presence, to your light, and to your love. We ask that you bless us all as we come together in harmony and in community. Help us to remember who we are as a part of you. Help us to feel your light, fill our being, so that we may bring your light into the world. We ask that you bring our loved ones close today so that we may truly understand that life and love continues into eternity, that we are all eternal beings, all a part of you. For this knowledge, we truly give thanks. Amen. And now, since this is Black History Month, now that we've entered February, we'd like to, at the Greater Boston Church of Spiritualism, mention some wonderful Black Americans who have contributed some wonderful things and haven't made it into the history books yet. So I'd like to open our service with a beautiful poem written by Maya Angelou, Still I Rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Do you take it awful hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Let us not be afraid to look at the truth of our history. We must see the atrocities of the past so that we will never, ever create them again. And now, please join me in a prayer for spiritual healing as we send it out to all people and our nation. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstruction from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. And now it's time for our healing meditation, a time when we can let go of the busyness, the stresses, the strains, even the angers and the bitterness that we might have picked up along the way. It's time to release them all and just sit in the power and the light and the love of God so that we may all be replenished to move forward into our lives, creating peace and harmony and joy. So just get comfortable wherever you are and take a nice deep breath. Breathing in and slowly breathing out, allowing that breath to relax you, to soothe you, and to calm you. And as you breathe, just allow yourself to imagine a beautiful light flowing in with that breath, filling your lungs and moving through that bloodstream. And as you breathe out, release. Release the stress, the tightness, the pains that you may have been holding on to. We hold so much in these physical bodies. So just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Taking in the light and the love of God that is all around you. For we know the presence of God exists in every moment, in every part of creation. It's in the very air that we breathe, so we can breathe in that light, breathe in that peace, and breathe in that healing power to awaken the healing power that exists in every cell within our body. As this light travels through your body, just allow it to fill every muscle, every nerve, every bone, and every joint. Feel it flowing into every cell, awakening that healing light deep within, reminding every cell of its perfect state, and bringing your body back into harmony. Breathing that light and feeling it flow from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. Just allow your body to settle, to relax, and to take in this light, this peace, and this pure, unconditional love. Allowing your body to heal, to be renewed and restored. Just breathe and feel your body thoroughly relaxing as you also bring this light into your mind, illuminating that beautiful mind of yours, expanding and opening it. And feel that light moving all those thoughts that have hindered you, blocked you, or stopped you from being your magnificent self. See those thoughts flow away. Those less than, those not good enough thoughts. Just imagine a peaceful, beautiful river of light moving through your mind and taking away all those thoughts that no longer serve you. Taking away the fear and the worry, the pains and the hurts. Just allow that light, that divine light, to flow through your mind, releasing you from all that has blocked you, from knowing who you truly are. And as this light fills your mind, you feel a knowing that you are loved beyond measure. You know that you are a part of the divine source. You know that you're a part of all that is. For your mind begins to expand and open so that you may receive the inspiration and the wisdom that is there for you. Just allow that expansion to take place as you allow that pure love to fill your body, your mind, your heart, and your soul. And just feel that pure, unconditional love washing through every part of you, opening your heart so that you can expand in the love that surrounds you, so that you may emanate that love wherever you are. And you begin to understand that you are more than this physical being. You begin to understand that you are energy as you feel what it truly means to be you. Feeling that divine light, expanding your own energy field. Understanding yourself as a spirit of light, first and foremost. And just feel your spirit, your divine light being lifted higher and higher above the physical plane. And feel yourself moving into a land of pure light and placed down in a magnificent field of white. And as you stand in this field, you feel a gentle snow falling down all around you. And you feel this snow not only moving around you, but moving through you. And as this snow falls, you feel it washing away from you anything that you have held on to that doesn't serve you. Anything that has blocked you or stopped you from being your magnificent self. For you are here in this field of white, this field of light, to be renewed and restored so that you may carry this light into all that you do. So allow this peaceful snow, this gentle snow that falls all around you, to cleanse you, to clear you, to clear your mind, to clear your heart, to clear your soul from past experiences that might have held you back from loving, from trusting, from being at peace. For this is a special place of peace that we have entered. And we feel the rays of God's love all around us, filling us with this peace. God's light and love is within every snowflake, bringing peace deep into our hearts and souls, allowing us to become that peace, to become like these snowflakes, each one unique and perfect unto itself, and emanating the light and love of God, just as every part of creation is doing the same. This is who we are, just like the snowflake, here to emanate this light, this love, this peace into every interaction, into every experience. And we know that as we open to this light, it will carry us through every experience, helping us, guiding us, leading us forward. As we stand in this beautiful field, with the snow falling around us, we feel our guides and our teachers, our angels and our loved ones all gathering around us to celebrate who we are, to celebrate the peace and the light that fills us. And as we stand in this field of light, we ask that this light flow out into our entire world, filling every heart, filling every mind, filling every spirit, bringing us all into alignment with each other and with God. For as we live in alignment and in oneness, we create a magnificent world. Standing in this place of love, we ask that this light and love flow out to all of the people in our world who are sick, who are suffering from this virus, and we ask for an end to this virus, that it may be cleared from our world so that we may return to being together once again, not just spiritually and energetically, but physically. But until that time, we feel our light and our energy moving out and blending with all the people in our world. And we know that that healing power is going everywhere it's needed and filling every heart in this sacred moment of now. Stand and hold this vision with me of our world healed, of us all living in harmony and oneness and creating a beautiful world with every action and every word we utter. Take a nice deep breath, holding that vision of that beautiful world, and know that you are a part of creating that world. It is up to you. It is up to all of us to live in the light of God and to remember always who we are as a Spirit of God. And now take a nice deep breath And allow yourself to gently come back to the room, grounding back to the here and now, feeling the clothes upon your body and the chair on which you sit. And as you open your eyes, smile and rejoin the world, knowing that you are the light and you are free to be that light in all you do. And now, if you would join me in our Declaration of Principles, it will appear on the screen. In Spiritualism, we have no rules or regulations or dogmas or creeds, but we do have a set of principles that help us to live our lives in the best possible way. So please read them with me, and think about what they mean as you read. We believe in infinite spirit, and that God is infinite spirit. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite spirit. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of an individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule: whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual, and that they make their own happiness or unhappiness as they obey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. And we affirm the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. And now it's a pleasure to introduce to you today our very own Raeleen Bandini, who has some wonderful words of wisdom to share. So please welcome Raeleen Bandini for the sermon, and she will be followed by a musical selection by Branigan Reed, who will sing Here's Where I Stand.
Hello, I'm Raeleen, and I'd like to talk to you about intentions. What does it mean for us when we do intentions? Now, have you ever asked yourself or been asked by someone, what in life do you really want? And for me, it's always been a tough decision in my older life. What is it that you really want? And setting the intention around what I want doesn't always come easy, unless it's really something you want. I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but when we do want something and we set an intention around that want, it usually, or almost always, comes to life for us. You see, as spiritualists, we believe in a set of natural laws. And when setting an intention, 4 natural laws come to mind for me when setting an intention. And I did mention that it's not always easy to find that part of us deep down inside, or the truth behind something that we want, bad enough that we actually have to work for. But that's what an intention is. It's really, it's deciding what you want and how bad do you want it. Okay, and these natural laws that play part of our intentions were quite surprising to me now that I realize that I can look back at an intention I set for myself when I was much younger, that with these natural laws in place brought me to reaching my goal. And I'll explain what I mean by that in just a minute. So let's touch upon the 4 natural laws that kick in, if you will, when we set intentions for ourselves. And the first one is the law of truth. So deep down in our core, we have to decide, is this our truth? Is this something we really want to have. And with this truth too comes this feeling within yourself when it's really deep down in your truth, something you want. You should feel that bubble of energy that comes up for you around this truth. Like, oh my God, if I just had this in my life, that would be really exciting. And then you can, the ball starts to roll using that first initial energy of the truth that you have for wanting this in your life. Okay. The second is the law of action. It's what you have to do to bring this intention to life, bring this truth that you have. You've got this ball of energy of something you really want, and now you have to act on it. The law of action brings the plan into place. And for me, that meant journaling what my intention was. What was it that I really wanted that could come into my life that was meaningful and something that would bring me joy? This, the action that you put into it, okay, brings upon a visual for you as well. And once you have this plan in place and the visualization comes through for you, and the desire is starting to bubble up inside of you, and this is just something that's really attainable, that ball of energy seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then watch the law of cause and effect. Here you can see your course of action, okay? The energy you're putting into your action is coming back to you, because the cause and effect tells us the amount of energy that we put into something is returned to you. And depending on how much energy you're really putting towards something, you can either mildly see that effect coming back, trickling in, or if you're putting in your heart and soul and you're delving deep into this, you will see that energy flying in. It returns like a boomerang, and it comes back to you, and you begin to see that your plan, your action is in effect. Okay, and it is taking hold. This intention, your goal, you're seeing the end of the goal there, and you can actually see it coming to fruition. So when I look back on all of these laws that helped me through my one very major intention that I can recall when I was much younger. I had 2 small children. I was a single mom. I was a full-time employee, and I decided I need to go back to school. This was something in my truth that I believed I needed to be able to provide for my children, that would help me grow, help me learn, help me to be a better person, and to really bring something into my older years that I would be thankful I did. And that sounds a little crazy, silly, but I always believed that if you do something in your younger years, that your older self would be happy for. This was one intention that clearly helped me in my older years. So once I realized this truth in myself, the law of truth played a big part in this intention, because I really needed it. I wanted it. I needed it. I needed to put this plan in action. And so the law of action took hold when I began to journal. And I journaled the days and the hours of the week that I would go to class, what classes that I would go to, and how long it would take me to complete my degree. The first year I took one course the first semester, 2 courses the second semester, and at the end of the second semester, I had to reevaluate my plan. I had to look back at the vision I had for myself and realized this was going too slow for me to be able to reach my goal when I intended to reach my goal. So I decided at the end of the second semester to take summer courses. And in the fall, I was a full-time student. I was going during my lunch hour. I was taking a class on a weekend, and I was taking classes 2 nights a week. I had a wonderful family who were helping me with my girls, and they were instrumental in affecting my success in my goal. And once I was able to journal all of this, and I could see the plan as it was unfolding on paper, I really got that visual of me walking across the stage and receiving my diploma and waving it above my head to my girls saying, "We did it, we did it, we did it." I saw that vision before I really even hit the ground running with my education. And I held on to my truth. I held on to the belief of cause and effect. I hung on to faith. And once I had that feeling and that ball of energy that was just growing inside of me, I was able to look back and realize that this all took place because of my truth, because of my actions, and the journaling was instrumental in me achieving my goal, the plan, seeing it and believing it, bringing it in, realizing the cause and effect of my planning and the energy that I put into it, and coming to the end and having the faith that I knew I had God with me. I had my master's teachers and loved ones with me during that entire journey, and that I was able to reach my goal. It took 5 years. It was a long goal, but one that I put my heart and soul into, and one that I succeeded in completing. And I actually did walk across that stage, receive my diploma, and wave it above my head, screaming out to the crowd where my daughters were sitting, "We did it, we did it, we did it." So it was a great experience, and a great memory of an intention that I set for myself, that because of my truth and believing that good things can come to us with the energy that we put into it. It's proof too that we can have anything that we want in our life if we intend for it to be in our life. If we put all of our energy and our thoughts, and journaling again is a key to getting this done for yourself, because this way you can see it, your angels can see it, and you can actually affect something into action when you can see it in writing. And just to recap, for you to do this for yourself and to understand how these natural laws play a role in achieving wonderful things that can happen with your intentions, is to know your truth, know exactly what you want, and believing it and bringing that energy into your truth to bring it to life. And then act on that. The law of action, remember, it's journaling, it's creating a plan, it's visualizing that plan, it's seeing yourself with that something that you want in your life, and knowing that you deserve it. Okay, this is really important too. You are worthy of anything it is that you want, that you can visualize in your mind. There's no reason you couldn't have it. If you can visualize it, you can have it. And acting on that, okay, is up to you. achieving that, attaining what it is that you want is all up to you. It's the energy you put into the intention that carries you through. It doesn't matter if it's a short-term intention or a long-term like it was for me. I never gave up. I kept the faith, and I knew it was going to work. I had the faith. I actually felt too that I deserved it. I needed it. I deserved it. I was working hard, and as long as you're doing those things to achieve the goals of your intention, there isn't any reason why you wouldn't be able to do that. And remember too, when you put that energy forth to fulfill the goals of your intention, you can feel the cause and effect take hold. And it becomes this revolving door of wonderfulness, because you're putting it out and it's coming back, and you're putting it out and it's coming back. You can do this for any one of your intentions. If you're putting that energy out, it'll come back to you. And thinking back on my own intention with the cause and effect, it came back to me like a tornado, because that was the energy I was giving it. See, understanding and believing that it's the energy that you're putting into it that comes back to you. And having faith that God is with you, and your spirit loved ones are with you, and your masters and teachers, and that we're not alone in this journey. And as difficult as it may seem to be when we set these intentions for ourselves, it's a way to learn and grow when we bring upon these wonderful things into our life. If we can imagine it, it can happen. And if you can build it into an intention to achieve it, it can happen. And just know, having the faith and the truth and the trust, knowing when you affect change, it can happen. And I want it to happen for you. Now you have a couple of tools on how you can reach these intentions and build up that energy and bring yourself into that space of love and determination, and it can happen for you. And I want it to happen for you. God bless you, all of you.
Here in the dark, I stand before you, knowing this is my chance to show you my heart. This is the start. This is the start. I have so much to say, and I'm hoping that your arms are open. Don't turn away.
wonderful talk, and thank you, Branigan, once again for a beautiful song. And now it's time for our spirit communication, a time when we can hear what our loved ones have to say. As you know, I don't know who's watching this service, but I know that our loved ones do. And I invite all the loved ones who wish to come through to bring through not just their evidence, but their wisdom. I know that the spirit world has so much wisdom to share, and they're really here to uplift everyone and to help us all along our path. So if you recognize anyone that is coming through, I do appreciate getting your emails. Thank you to all the people who I've heard from recently. It's wonderful to know we're making that connection. So I'm just going to see who's here with us today and do my best to share their evidence and their wisdom with you. Okay, I feel like I have a woman who's coming in here. I feel like she's very much a mother. She's like a little mother hen as she comes in, and I feel she would have been very motherly and protective of her children. I feel like she's got a whole brood of kids, so I feel like she's showing me that she's saying, these are all my little chickens. So I feel like she has a whole lot of kids, and she just had a ball with them. She loved it when they were little because she loved to play with them. And I feel like they're like stepping stones, so I don't feel like there's many years between them. I feel like the most would be 2 years between each kid. So I feel like she said I had productive years, and I had one right after the other. So I keep seeing the number 7, so I feel like there's at least 7 kids in her family. But I feel like as I look in her house, there's even more than 7. There's, you know, like the more the merrier is how she said, once you have 7, doesn't matter, all the neighborhood kids can come in, and they just had a good time. I feel like she liked to have the kids at her house. So rather than her kids being sent out here and there to other friends' houses, she liked to open her house and have everybody in. So she knew where her kids are and she could keep track of them. But I feel like she also was very fun-loving, and she liked to play with them, because I feel like she'd jump into the games, and I see her making special cookies for different events, and I feel like she's showing me like Valentine hearts for Valentine's Day and Santa Clauses for Christmas. She always tried to put fun into their experience. So there was a lot of love in that family, and that family was very, very close. And I feel like she taught her children to look out for one another and to stay close. I feel like she was not that old when she passed. I feel like I'm probably in my late 50s or early 60s when I pass with her. I feel like there's an issue in the chest. I also am having a lot of difficult time breathing. So I feel like there's some sort of a condition here that feels, excuse me, that feels like she would have had a lot of difficulty. I don't know whether it's esophagus but I feel like it's also, I can't speak at the end of her life. But I feel like what she really wanted to teach her kids was to take care of one another, because I don't feel like they were that old. You know, when she passed, they were grown, but not old enough to lose your mom, she says, and not that it's ever time to lose your mom, but she said it was really difficult for all of them, and she was so glad that she had taught them through their lives to pull together and always look out for one another. I feel like since her passing, many years have passed, and I feel like everybody's sort of spread out and in their own little groups now. And I feel like she's saying, come together, make some plans for next summer to come together and have a big reunion, because I feel like the family has really spread and grown, and there are so many that it's really hard to get them all together again. But she said it will be worth the effort. So start planning that family reunion, because she'll be there. And I feel like she's got this red scarf on, and I feel like it would have been, you would have known her when she dressed up. She'd wear a scarf, and she'd like to accessorize, and she'd like to look pretty. So I feel very soft hair with her, and I feel like she would have always tried to look her best, and she always made her kids look their best. And I feel like she's coming in to talk about do your best, look your best, and do your best. And she said, I understand at this time a lot of you aren't going out into the world, and so you're not dressing for success. She said, I can see that. So she wants you to know that she's paying attention to how you're presenting yourself or not presenting yourself to the world these days. And she said, I taught you to present yourself, to look your best, not for the rest of the world, but for you. And she said, if you roll out of bed and don't take care of your appearance, and like it doesn't matter, you're telling yourself that you don't matter. So she's coming in to tell her kids that she's watching them, and she wants them to make the best of themselves every day, whether they're going to see anyone or not, because there's bad habits being created here. And she said, and it takes away your self-esteem. So I feel like she's coming in to really build up everyone's self-esteem today, and let us all know that it's important to look your best if you want to do your best. And you don't look your best for anybody else but you. So she said, when you look in the mirror, see your beautiful self shining back and smiling, and feel good about yourself, because that's how you should start your day, feeling good about you. So I feel like she's a real cheerleader, and she was a cheerleader for her kids. And she said, I'm still cheering for all of you, and I really want you to cheer for each other, because sometimes just being apart, you don't feel like you have someone in your corner. So pick up the phone, talk to all your brothers and sisters, and get those conversations going, because you all need that pick-me-up right now. So she's looking out for you and letting you know that she's there. So I leave you with her love and blessings, and her wisdom and encouragement for all of us to reach out and stay connected to all the people that we love. Just because there's distance doesn't mean we can't still be connected and still can't be cheerleaders for each other. So cheer each other on. And I leave you with her blessings. She's got a wonderful spirit and full of joy. And now I feel like I have another woman who's coming in, and I feel rather elderly with her. I feel like she would have lived to a good old age. She's not telling me the number. She said a lady never tells her age. So I feel like she never would have let anybody know how old she was. But she looks like she lived a good and long life. And I feel like with her, she also had a lot of children. And I feel like she has she's showing me like two families, because I feel like she had a group of children, and then there were a lot of years between them, and then she had a few more. So I feel like she's got like two families, and the kids feel like there's two different families of kids. She said my childbearing years were long, and I had quite a lot of kids, and the groups of them stuck together, but sometimes the two groups didn't come together as one, if that makes sense. Because of the number of years between them, they sort of did their own thing, but they still were connected in their hearts and in their love. But I feel like with her, she's coming in as a sturdy woman. I feel with her, she's rather serious in the way she looked at life. I feel like she performed the duties of life. You know, she didn't love to cook, but she cooked. She didn't love to clean, but she cleaned. She did what she was supposed to do in life that would make life run smoothly. But she said, I didn't always get to do the things I would have liked to have done. I didn't get to do the traveling that I dreamt of, but I did so in books. She said, I have no regrets in my life. I'm thrilled that I had the life that I had. I'm thrilled, and I love my children with my entire heart. And she said, but I didn't step away in the times that I could have stepped away and done things for myself. I just kept towing the line. And she said, had I stepped away a little bit and done things for myself, I would have been a happier person to be around. So she's saying it's important for you to understand that even though you have responsibilities and people depend on you, it's important for you to step back a little bit once in a while and do something for yourself that makes you happy. Because if you don't, you can get a little sour and you don't have all the patience that you could have because you're not feeding yourself. So she's encouraging her children to always do something for themselves. It's important to do for others, but it's also important to do for yourself. So I feel like she's coming in with the weights, when you weigh things. She's coming in with the scales, and she's saying you have to live in a place of balance. Because if you do too much for yourself and not enough for your kids, then your kids suffer. If you do too much for your kids and not enough for you, you suffer. So she said, in everything in life, there's always a perfect balance. So try to maintain that balance in your life. In everything that we do, we can go to an extreme, and any extreme is wrong. She said, I went to extremes, and I suffered for the extremes. She's saying, not terribly, but when I look back on my life, it could have been more joyful. I could have been more fun-loving, but I stayed serious and towing the line. So she said, don't get too carried away with the seriousness of life, because it's not meant to be that serious. Enjoy your lives. Everybody is meant to enjoy their life. Nobody's meant to just do for others all the time. There's got to be a balance in everyone's life. So she's coming in to help us all to find that balance in life in all that we do, and make sure we maintain that so that we're level and even in our emotions, in our mind, in our physical health. I feel like she's showing me herself with a cane in her older years, and I feel like she would have a lot of pain in her knees and, aches and pains. I feel like she had quite a bit of arthritis in that body before she passed. And she's telling me she was ready to leave that body when the time came. And she said it was a relief to get out of pain, but I missed being around my children in a physical way. I miss being around my grandchildren in a physical way. So I feel like she's saying I can still be around them spiritually and energetically, but I miss hugging them, and I miss the hugs they gave me. And she just put a little bluebird in my hand, and I feel like that little bluebird is like a figurine that one of her children may have given her, but it was something very special. And she said to her it was the bluebird of happiness. So I feel like she's got her hands full of all these little bluebirds, and she's sending them to you, and she's saying, you watch for those bluebirds, they're going to show up, and you're going to remember me, and you're going to do something good for yourself every time you see a bluebird. bluebird. So I feel like she's coming in to bring gifts to her children, but to everybody, and to say, you know, when everybody look around, when you see that bluebird, it's a reminder to be happy. And happiness is inside. So be happy within. Don't look outside for what's happy. Just know that that bluebird is a reminder that happiness is within you and it's your choice to live it. So I feel like she's got that's wonderful wisdom for all of us, as I thank her for coming in. And she's just blowing kisses, because I feel like that's something she would have done. And she's blowing kisses out to her children and her grandchildren especially, and letting you know that she's just fine now, and she's dancing because her knees are fine and she's got no more aches and pains, and that's important. So I leave you with her love and her wisdom, and watch for those bluebirds. Thank you. Great. Yeah. Okay, I have a gentleman who's coming in, and I feel like he's got a lot of energy. When he came in, he was someone who did a lot of movement. I feel like he was always busy. I feel like almost a nervous energy with him, like he was nonstop. So I feel like as I'm blending with him, I don't feel too old with him. He's showing me himself middle-aged. I feel like really well kept. I feel like I'm strong and able and fit, because I feel like he was always on the move. He never had time to gain any weight. But I also feel like he ate a lot. As he's showing me, he really liked to eat, and he could eat like 3 times what someone else ate, and he never showed a pound. But I feel like that was because he was always moving and shaking, he says. I feel like he's coming in as a friend to someone here. I feel like he wasn't married and he didn't have any children. But I feel like there were a lot of people in his life. I feel like he was an uncle to many. And I feel like he was very close to his nieces and nephews because he didn't have children himself. He'd like to be involved in their lives. So I feel really comfortable with him. I feel like he was someone that you could do things with. He'd like to have fun. He would take you out and go places with you. And he was always an adventurer when you went with him. And I feel like he was around a lot in your life. It wasn't like he came in and out. He was around a lot. And he was a really strong part of your life, and someone that could listen also. I feel like there wasn't a lot of years between you, so I feel like he was easy to tell things to, and I feel like he was very understanding as an uncle, that you could tell him things that you wouldn't necessarily tell your parents. And he had a way of helping you deal with things, and also helping you to tell your parents in the best way possible, so that they wouldn't get too upset. So I feel like he was someone you would go to all the time. And there's a great love that he has for you. I feel like he was really reaching out to a niece and a nephew that he was very close to. And I feel like they're brother and sister. So I feel like he would have been someone that would have given advice and tried to help. I'm coughing with him. I feel like he may have been a smoker because of the cough that I'm feeling. But I feel like there was definitely an illness that took him across. And he was rather young when he passed, like 40s, 50s, that time frame. I don't feel like I'm too old with him. And he's talking about a sister that he was also very close to, who's still here and who is moving through some challenges right now. He said her sister is moving through some challenges, and he wants her to know that he's right beside her, and he's walking with her, and he's going to help her every step of the way. He says life is full of challenges. There'll always be one. So you have to just take it as it comes, take one step and one step at a time, and stop worrying about what might be or could be. Just go with the flow and know that you don't walk alone. So I feel like he's coming in with a lot of support and a lot of love, and he's also saying, I'm still listening. So he says, you can talk to me. Sometimes that's all you need to do is get it off your chest, and that makes things so much better. So know that I'm still listening. And he said everyone should know that their loved ones are still listening to them, that we're here for them, for all of you. When you need to have a conversation and you don't quite know how to have it, talk to us. And by the time you finish, you'll have the inspiration you need to go out and tell others. I feel like that's what he did for his niece and nephew, and he's encouraging everyone to use their loved ones from the spirit side of life. Let them help you. You're not alone in anything, and you should never feel like you walk alone. He said, I never realized it till I got here how close they really are. So take heart and walk gingerly in life and enjoy it. It's short. And I leave you with his love and his blessings and his wisdom. And I have time just for one more. Okay. All right, I feel like I have a woman coming in who's singing. And I feel like she's singing up a storm, and that's how people would have known her. She was always singing, always humming, and I feel like she had a sing-songy voice even. Like everything she said was like a song. But I feel like she's coming in really quickly here today to reach out and let people know that use your voice, that sometimes you're in silence for a very long time, and you spend hours all alone, and you're not talking. Well, get that voice going. You got to start exercising your voice and using it, because there's so many beautiful sounds that you miss. So I feel like she would have sung in church, but she also would have sung on stages. So she's showing me a stage, and but I don't feel like she was professional, more like an amateur productions. So I feel like when there was a play, she'd be right there, musical, because she'd love to be a part of a group. And that's how you would know her, as part of a group of musicians. So I'm not feeling so much a family connection, but more of a friend connection, and someone who would have loved to sing and loved to laugh. And I feel like it's in the productions, it's in the closeness, it's in the joy that you shared, and there was some elation that you'd feel at the end of the production, that you did a good job. And she said, you've got to incorporate that in your life, that when you take time to be elated when you do a good job, and be happy about that. It's not about being too prideful. It's about recognizing that you have good things to do. And when you share something and it's well received and you feel good about yourself, celebrate that. That's all. She's coming in very quickly to say, just celebrate all the wonderful things you do. Because life, she says, life is like those productions that we were in. And she said, you know, if you think about life as a stage, you do your best. And at the end, you're elated because you did a good job. Well, that's what life's about. Do a good job. Do what feels good to you, what feels right to you. Do good for other people. And at the end of your life, you're elated with the life you lived. And that's really her message. Pay attention to how you're living your life. Sing your song. Let your soul song flow out into the world. Let people know who you are. Let them experience the beauty of your soul, And at the end of life, it's like the end of the performance. You take a bow and you feel really good about yourself. And she said, I feel really good about my life. At the end of my life, I took a bow and the final curtain went down and I felt good about myself. And I look back on my life with no regrets. And she says, that's how I want all of you to move through life with no regrets. Just do your best and be happy with you. And at the end of your life, you'll also be elated with the life that you lived. And I leave you with that wonderful piece of wisdom. May we all be elated with the lives we've lived when we come to the end. And thank you for coming in. God bless you. And we thank all of the loved ones who have joined here today to assist us and help us and to share their wisdom and their love and their guidance with us. And remember, if you've recognized these wonderful loved ones, just send me a little email so we know we've touched you and made that connection. And now just a few announcements as we begin to close our service. The services will continue. We have a new event which we're very excited about called Fun Fridays. And they will be held on the first Friday of the month, and they're game nights. So we're going to do virtual game nights on Zoom, and it's just for 1 hour, and the link will be on our website and also on Facebook. So we hope you can join us on the first Friday of the month at 7 p.m. for a Fun Friday game night, for a nice social interaction, which we all need. We also going to begin a monthly book share on Zoom, and each month we'll be honoring and discussing and reading about different issues. So since it's February, we're honoring Black History Month, and some of the books that were chosen at our last members meeting, White Fragility, Difficult Conversations with the Black Man and the Color of Law. And those are some of the books that we'll be discussing. There'll be more information on the website as it becomes available, and that will be towards the end of the month. And we'll do different books each month and give people a chance to grow and learn and expand their understanding. Anyone interested in signing up for classes for the spring should send me an email and let me know. And in March, mark your calendars, we're going to have a Dominic Bogue weekend. Saturday, March 13th, he will be doing a mediumship workshop, and that will be from 11 to 3, I believe, on Zoom. And then on Sunday, in place of a service, we're going to do a gallery with Dominic, and that's March 14th at 1 p.m. So all that information will be on our website. Please sign up for our emails if you're not on the list, so we send out reminders and links all the time with that. And please don't forget to donate. You can donate on our website, and you can also make donations on Venmo at GBC Spiritualism and also on Facebook. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page so that you can continue to get updates when we add new things. Sometimes we put up new meditations and always new services. So I thank you for joining us, and I'm always available. You can send me an email if you have any questions about the church or about anything. And now let's close our service with the closing prayer. Infinite Spirit, beloved God, we give thanks for your light, your love, your peace, and the harmony you have brought to us. Continue to fill our hearts and walk with us as we move out into the world to create a new and beautiful world. Help us to be focused on our intentions, what we truly desire in life, so that we may continue to create the highest and best for ourselves and for all. Help us to walk in your light and your joy as we move forward into our world, creating anew. Amen. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you all next week. God bless you all.